What's up, guys? Welcome back to another HERR Lounge podcast. I am excited to be here. I've had nothing but great feedback on our last couple of episodes, which make me feel good. They've all liked Tara's episode. They liked Natalia's episode. They're like, keep them coming. I'm like, shit, those are two hard women to like top. I don't even know what else to bring on anymore. I'm like, financial advisor next. You know, like someone who coupons and does a great job of doing all that. Like, I don't know, you know, what's next. But everybody has enjoyed it. The Discord is lit. It is lit, bro. It is lit. I am loving it. It's exactly what I wanted. You know what I'm saying?
Are you being sarcastic?
No, I'm serious. We talked back and forth like yesterday. Again, guys, remember, I record this on Mondays, so you know
both episodes.
Yeah, both episodes. So for you guys, y'all are listening to it on Wednesday, so it's pre-recorded. But yesterday, hubby was nice enough to take the girls to go. His sister had been wanting to see the girls anyway, right? And so he took them to her house, and they left for a hot minute. And so,
starting when? How early did they go?
Well, we went to church. We went to go have lunch with my sister and my mom before my sister headed back to Boston because she was here for the week. And so I'm going to say it was about 3 o'clock when they took off. So from 3 o'clock, right, they took off and I started. It's funny because my sister gets back. She was running some errands before she left. And she gets here and I'm folding clothes on the couch. And she's like, so this is what you do with your mommy time? She's like, you're not even like laying down watching TV. And I'm like, yeah, I don't. Oh, yeah. Now that we're talking about this, Rob.
Yeah.
So Pete says, hey, I heard about your mommy time, that you're always complaining that you don't have mommy time. I was like, what? What are you talking about? He's like, yeah, I was talking about how sometimes I'm just like struggling to stay up with you because, you know, you seem to be awake. He's like, and Rob says that you're always complaining about not. I said, I'm not complaining.
That's not how I phrased it.
I was like, oh my God. I was like, that's not true. I'm like, and then Rob's like, that you had suggested for him to go to bed by himself.
Well, he was complaining about not getting enough sleep. I'm trying to meet y'all in the middle here because y'all are trying to please each other.
Listen, I told him. I said, we do not go to bed without each other. So I said, you've always said, hey, are you ready for bed? I'm not sure why you're trying to stay up now. Like, I don't know if he just sees like I'm alert, maybe like I'm not falling asleep like he is. But I usually am like, hey, are you ready for bed? And he'll be like, no, I'm still good. I'm like, okay. You know, I mean, I can't go to bed without him. I'll just be honest with you.
I know. I've heard. You've said that for years.
Yeah, I can't go to bed without him. When he is out of town, I am up to like 3 a.m, tossing and turning. Like, can't wait for it to be morning. I just can't. I don't know when that'll go away. Maybe never. I just don't know.
It'll go away as long as Shingo's stern about it. Ask Dawn how that goes. I'm like, look, we can't do this forever, all right? We just have different schedules for the most part.
Yeah, I can't. I like going to bed with him. And I think maybe also whenever he's out of town and I don't go with him, that's probably how his time where he's like, you know, by myself,
totally, yeah.
You know, doesn't have to, you know, deal with anybody.
He's total creator mode.
Yeah, me, you know, so I get it, you know, but when we're out of town together, it's the same thing. I mean, we talk about the show and then we go to bed. Well, sometimes we stay up with the guys too. Yeah. Everybody stays up and chit chats too. So that's a whole different thing. Yeah, that's fun. But that has become our getaway from the kids.
Yeah.
Traveling together. Yeah. Before it was like fun. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, oh my God, I can't wait.
Can you believe we're going to be out of town for 3 days?
Yeah, exactly.
What are we going to do?
I know. I'm like, how late do you want to wake up? This is going to be so fun.
And how early do you want to go to sleep?
Exactly. Anyway, so I haven't started this podcast yet without a quote. So I want to go, I haven't set the quote of the day. So,
you're right, though. You've never started a podcast without a quote.
So, and I want to say this just because I don't really want to get into the Rogan thing.
Sure.
But, you know, appreciate good people. They are hard to come by. And I think just right now, we are in that time where it's like, if you don't have like good friends by you, supporting you, kind of like even what Natalia was saying, it's like your circle just has to be super duper on the same page as you, because there's so many things that just every day it's something new. I can't keep up. I was watching old Rogan episodes because they're just, I think because they're talking about him so much right now, they're just populating on my YouTube channel as like suggestions for me to watch. And they're from a year ago. And at that time, I think Brett, is his name Brett?
Mm-hmm. Brett Weinstein.
Brett Weinstein. He was talking about
Weinstein, I guess. Weinstein is the
bad guy.
Yeah, the
okay.
pervert.
Yeah, he's corrected him before too on the podcast.
It's easy to do. It's easy to confuse.
He had said they were talking about STEM. I'm just gonna go there. Yeah, systemic racist race theory. Okay. And so they were just kind of talking about that, right? And he's like, "What? You haven't heard about it?" And Rogan's like, "No, what's going on?" He's like, "What? It's all over your feed." He's like, "Yeah, I'm trying, I'm trying my hardest not to." He goes, "Yeah," he's like, "Every day there's just something new." That was a year ago. And it's like, there's something new. And same thing, Tim Dillon said something like the other day, he was like, I don't care what way, it was actually, I think on the episode with him and Schultz, where he said, he was like, I really don't care if a comic is, no, it was with Rogan, an old Rogan one. He's like, I don't give a shit what political stance any comic has. It's like, if you're funny, you're funny.
Yeah.
I've said this a million times on the podcast. I've never been friends with anybody based on their religion or their political views.
Yeah, me neither. Especially the religion thing. I don't care about that. Like, believe whatever you want to believe, but it's getting harder and harder for people to disassociate like political beliefs and the idea that you believe that and I believe this. So that, I don't know, maybe we're just coming into a new era of life where that's going to be like a make it or break it kind of thing.
I mean, it's crazy. I just don't get that anymore. Like, I feel it's there, and it's almost like I feel like segregation is soon to happen, where you're going to wear a label, almost like, I don't know. Like,
well, we already are. Have you seen these videos of the kids that the schools are starting to throw them out of classrooms for not having masks on? I mean,
didn't that happen in HISD just recently here in Houston?
I wouldn't be surprised, but there's like Illinois, I think New York. There's some videos going around from over the weekend, or from not over the weekend, but from last week that circulated over the weekend, of literally anywhere from like third, fourth grade to like middle school, high school, where the teachers are like, go out into the hallway, go to the office. And then from the office, they're kicking them outside. And the last video I saw, there was a group of kids outside on the curb, on the corner of the school. No teachers, no supervisors, just sitting there waiting for parents to pick them up or somebody to swing by and pick them up. It made my blood boil.
And the parents have not raised hell.
That's what I'm saying.
They just left their kid out there. Yeah, it's really weird. My sister, we're house hunting, right? And one of the things my aunt said is like, you have kids now. Because I don't remember it being this hard when we purchased this house. But my aunt's like, yeah.
The market is totally different.
It's totally different, one. And then two, I didn't have, like, Mickey doesn't live with us full time. Her mom already made the decision of what school district she will be attending. Does that make sense? So I never had to make that decision. My aunt's like, when she's talking to me, because she's our realtor, she's like, you really need to consider the school district for your kids. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't really know if she's going to go to public school. You know what I'm saying? I'm still debating that, And so we're kind of talking about it. So anyway, my sister's in town and we're talking, and she's like, we talked about her starting school. I said, yeah, she'll be in pre-K this year. I said, isn't that crazy? She goes, you're going to let her go to public school? And I'm like, God, Cynthia. She's like, well, I don't know. With all the weirdness they're doing right now, she's like, I don't know, if I had kids, I would just really think about it, And it's funny because she has no kids, but she was saying, if I had kids, there's no way I'd let them go to public school right now. And I thought it was crazy coming from someone with no kids, right? That they're even paying attention to any of those things. I hate when I see, we went to this Chinese New Year festival at the Railway Heights here in, like, near us off of Washington. It's funny. People's like,
totally random. Your jar is so bright that it's making that yellow like really pop right there. Yeah. Could you put it anywhere? There. That's better.
Okay.
Well, that's still bright.
All right. I'll put it down.
Sorry.
I'll get my water when I need it. I'm drinking coffee anyway.
I like that mug. What does it say?
I'd rather bang screw.
Oh, that's the one Marissa gave me?
Marissa gave me this. Yeah. So
So she's paying attention. It's hard not to, right?
Yeah, I
what's
guess
going
she's
on in
paying
schools.
attention. Yeah, I told Pete, I was like, hey, so there's a Chinese New Year festival going on. Want to go see? He's like, well, I don't know what's going to happen there. I'm like, oh, does everything have to be political? And it's funny. We're there like watching the dragon dance or whatever, right? And I'm like trying to vlog. And he's like, oh, don't get me on the vlog. I'm like, stop already. Stop. I'm like, I can't with you. Like, just stop, like, I just can't with you right now. And he was just like, what? I'm just saying, like, he's like, what if they have,
Facial recognition?
no, what if they have posters of, what's their president's name?
Xi Jinping.
All over the market. And I was like, bro, if they have that, we're leaving. I'm like, I'm not there to support that shit. I'm like, no way. I'm like, but I doubt that's what it is, I'm like, it's like Chinese New Year's for them, it's like the American way. So we went to that. It was kind of cool. But my point to that was it made me so sad to see so many parents. We were outdoors. We weren't even indoors, right? We were outdoors, and there's little kids with masks running around chasing each other. And I'm just sitting there looking like, how is your child breathing under those masks? You know what I'm saying? Like
2 years later, we're still talking about
but
this.
we're outside though. We're not even inside. I might let you slide with it being inside. Like, all right, parents inside. And it's their choice, as it should be. As it should be.
But what about the people in their cars by themselves with masks on?
That's hilarious to me.
That's insanity.
I can't.
That's mental illness.
I can't anymore. But what I'm saying is like, they'll not know a time where we didn't wear masks. Your kids nor my kids will know because they've been wearing it. Maybe if it stops, key word, right? Then when Penny starts school, she'll start making memories with masks. Although I would make her go to a private school, it's a Baptist private school, so they wouldn't make her wear masks there. But they also don't tell you can't wear a mask to class. It's still up to the parent at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? But they don't enforce mask wearing at the Second Baptist school.
Luckily, our kids have never been forced to do it anywhere.
But they're also like in the boondocks.
For sure. So
yeah,
that's right. That's what I mean. They're fortunate in that regard.
Usually that they lean more conservative out there, right?
Oh yeah.
So So just I just can't imagine that, and I hate that Penny's starting school, and those are the circumstances that I'm having to make a decision based on. Where do they stand? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want my child to be forced to have to take the jab or to do the, wearing the mask. I want her to make friends with people and catch cooties. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you to make mud pies outside with your friends. You know what I'm saying? And come back with ripped jeans because you were being a kid. Not, hey, you're not standing 6 feet apart from me. You know what I'm saying? She sneezed. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we're creating, a bunch of germaphobes. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, I don't know. I just can't stand to see it.
Well, that school out there with Apogee Academy, whatever Tim Kennedy's school is, he has that one in Katy, that private school. I don't know, what the curriculum's like or what the criteria is to get in, but
it's also on the west side. That's so far.
Isn't that where the old house was? The house old? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of far from Spring Branch, huh?
Yeah, and I don't even know if we're going to Spring Branch either.
Okay.
We just can't make up our mind. It's so hard right now. And also, like, people are buying up houses. Going back to how lit our Discord is.
Yeah, let's.
Someone mentioned that their brother builds duplexes. They're not even finished being built, and they've already bought them from him.
Wow. I want to say this, too, about the Discord and your podcast and podcasting in general. Have you ever thought of this? I was thinking about it on the drive up here. For a lot of people listening right now, for the thousands that listen to this podcast, which that should reflect the Discord and the Patreon, but hey, I'm just going to say that, do you, no one's forcing
up. Let's insert this short commercial here. If you haven't joined our Patreon account, please do so. HERR Lounge Podcast. I'm sorry.
Whoa, bro.
Patreon.com/HERR Lounge Podcast.
There we go.
Come join us, guys. Be a part of the group. A bunch of great supportive women, and the Discord has created this
community. Tribe, man.
Yo, so my whole thing behind that Seriously, Christy came on there and said, "Oh my God, I think I mentioned this last time on it, but it's still that's how much it likes." In sign language, you go like this when something like really sticks in your head, right? Or like trying to memorize something. But when she said, she's like, I haven't been on here all day, and I come back and she's like, there's all sorts of conversations happening, and it's so cool to see all the women interact. And I said, when I tell you this was my vision, like this is what I want, but with even more women, you know what I'm saying? Like a support group like no other. I mean, somebody's having a shitty day, they'll mention it. And that's what I was about to say. Yesterday, I spent all my mommy time, right, as my sister called it, cleaning, right, and organizing again, right? And because I was tired of just like Luisa will make piles of like toys, miscellaneous toys that really have a place in her room, but she has no idea, I guess, where they go. So she'll just get like a bowl that I may have and just start putting toys in there. And then she'll create another bowl. And I'm just like, these all have a place. Like they do. So I threw everything out of the bins yesterday and I just went ham, and I was like looking, and I said, I'm going to post this picture, as embarrassing as it is, because I just want to know who else deals with this craziness of toys, abundance of toys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And while I'm not complaining because my mom and my sister love my children, you know what I'm saying? Pete's sisters are a little bit better. They'll kind of ask if it's okay, right? And I'll be like, sure, you know what I'm saying? Or in their case, they'll rather pick them up and take them to go, you know, get ice cream or go play, which I appreciate way more. You know what I'm saying? Than you buying them a toy,
For
you
sure.
know? And I'm not saying like dogging my mom and my sister because they do all of it, you know what I'm saying? But they buy them stuff, pick them up, take them, and so forth. But Penny comes home, and did I tell you this story? That she said, I said, who got you all these things? I said, why do you came back with another Build-A-Bear toy. I don't even know what it was. And I said, you came back with new shoes, which the shoes are fine because those are useful, right? A new jacket, another like LOL thing dolls. And I'm just like, who got you all this? And she's like, it wasn't my fault, because she knows I tell her. I was like, there's no more toys happening here. I was like, because there's way too many and you don't even know what you have. I always tell her that. And out of nowhere she goes, well, you can't be mad at me. I said, what? About what? She goes, about all these toys. She goes, it's because my grandma and my aunt love me so much, and I'm just such a smart kid. They like to buy me things. And how am I to say no to that? I said, what? So I text both of them. I said, I just want you to know what Penelope just told me, you know? And I just told them. Well, then my sister, when she comes into town, she's like, I just want to tell you that Penelope is like hella smart. And I was like, I know. You know, she's like, no. I'm going to tell you why. She's like, you know the text that you sent about her saying that we loved her and she's super intelligent? She goes, she literally memorized word for word what mom told her to say should you get mad about her coming home with all these gifts. She was like, what 3-year-old memorizes exactly what she was told to say should she be approached about why did
One
you
that
get...
doesn't want to get in trouble, that's for sure.
Can you imagine?
What a smarty, yeah.
And I was like, no way. She goes, yeah, mom told her. She goes, if your mom gets mad,
That's
you tell her this.
hilarious.
And I was like...
Did you bring it up to your mom?
I did. And my mom was cracking up yesterday when I saw her. She was like, she goes, I was laughing so hard because I couldn't believe that she memorized. She goes, exactly how she told you. She said it in Spanish, obviously, guys. Exactly how she told you. She's like, is exactly how I told her to tell you. She's like, she didn't even skip one word or change a word around. She's like, she said it exactly.
Dude, that is so funny. I want to get back to the point I was going to make about your podcast and the Discord, but also let me tell this quick story. Yesterday, Dawn took Brooklyn to have a little mommy-daughter date. So they went to a clay place where you make a pot and stuff and color it and all that jazz.
Potter?
Yes. Then they went to Half Price Books and did some other things. And I took Weston to watch the new Spider-Man movie in theaters. We're watching the previews before the movie, and they're showing a lot of good previews of movies coming out. You know, some other Marvel movies and a movie based off of a video game. And they're showing one in particular, and Jared Leto's playing the main character. It's like an obscure kind of comic book hero or character that, you know, some people might not know about. But they're showing so many, you know how you watch previews and you feel like they're showing you all the good parts of the movie, right? And you're like, man, what's going to be left when the movie comes out, right? Well, we're like halfway through this preview, and Weston's just kind of like eating his popcorn and drinking his little cherry Slurpee, and he's watching, and he's like, well, don't ruin it. And I looked at him. I was like, what?
I could see him saying that too.
I was like, what? It's like they're showing everything.
That's hilarious.
It was so funny.
That's hilarious.
They say the damnedest things.
And it's crazy because it's all sincere.
Yes.
You know,
very matter of fact.
They're so innocent that they have no, filter. But you know what I wanted to say, speaking of innocence, we've now done this whole like movie night with Penny, right? Because she has been wanting to be more on the iPad, and I don't want her to be on the iPad, right? So she loves it. So she'll say movie night, and it's just us sitting there watching TV, right? So I wanted to. Sing is $24.99 to rent.
Bro, you're telling me.
I'm not paying $24. I'll buy it for $24, but I'm not renting it, sir.
We've been through the same thing.
And so I was like,
I can't wait to watch it though.
Me too. I love Sing 1. I bought it from, from Apple. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. Well, she's like, los animalitos que cantan. That's what she says. And so I'm like, all right. So we're sitting there and we're just kind of, and Pete's like, well, let's see what's on Disney Plus instead. I'm like, all right. So he's looking. And I was like, I didn't know this. And if you knew this already, and if anybody listening knew this already, newsflash to me, I had no idea there was little short films about coming out. You knew about these?
I've seen it in a preview on like YouTube or something like that, but I hadn't seen it in theaters and I hadn't seen it on the platform. It's
totally two men. And I had to stop watching it because Penny was, I wanted to watch it for my personal purpose to come talk about it on the podcast. But Penny was like, what's happening? Because she started saying, as they hug each other, and it kind of looked, Penny's like, why are they hugging each other like that? And I was like, okay, she's asking, change it now. You know what I'm saying? And, I don't know how I felt about that. I just kind of felt like I have no problem with anybody. I do have zero problem with anybody being gay, whatever you want to be. I've always said that. I try my hardest to understand it, which is why I am so intrigued with the whole transgender. As Marissa says, oh my God, here we go. Right. But we are, because we're about to talk about something.
Oh, okay.
I'm intrigued by it because I don't know where this all of a sudden started coming from. You know what I'm saying? Like so much. And when I was talking to Rowan, the lady that does the massages on me, because she's gay. She's lesbian. And one of the first things she told me, I think I've said it on the podcast, was when we're sitting down our consultation, she said, and I want to let you know that I'm queer. And I said, okay. She's like, okay, just letting you know because, I'm about to examine you. And a lot of women will get uncomfortable knowing that I'm queer. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, I think I'm fine. Like, I don't have a problem. You see what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make me none just because, I don't know. It just doesn't make me none. Does that make sense? Like, I really don't care. So I don't know that I want my child to watch a cartoon about it, like at 3.
At 3, at 6, at 7, at 10, at 12?
I think when you're a teenager, like when you're a little bit older and you start to understand maybe like sex, like sexuality, maybe like sex, like, and you start to
teach them that though? So?
Not teach them, but like.
No, who's going to teach them that? These fucking schools that are telling you that men can have babies and like, what are they going to learn by the time they're teenagers?
I just don't want no one to show, like, I want you to ask me a question. I don't want a movie to tell you. If you want to know why two men are kissing, I want to be able to sit down and say, listen, you know what I'm saying? X, Y, Z, whatever the reason is, right? Whatever it is. It's like, these are two people that love each other. They just happen to be the same sex and that's what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want a movie telling them, explaining this to them. And I definitely don't want the school trying to explain this to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, this needs to be a conversation in my house, not anybody else making this conversation. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So I just kind of felt a certain kind of way about Disney, because I just kind of felt like, I mean, I get it. You know, I totally get it. I stumbled across this account on, I think it's like Latinos something. I don't know. And it was a girl who has a podcast as well, which I want to listen to that episode that she talks about. But they promoted this one reel of hers. It's got a big following, man. I can't remember the name of the account, but it's a girl talking about that she comes from a transgender dad, and I guess what would be a gay mom. I don't know what she would be. Sorry.
So the way you said that,
I don't know what she would
gay
be.
mom?
Maybe a gay mom, right? She would be the gay mom, or she's a straight mom. No, she's a straight, right? They think that they
dad
say
is a trans. So the
dad
dad's a
used
woman.
to be a girl, or he's like. But we're talking about a long time ago, Rob. These are old school pictures, so they're not pictures like.
He looks more like a crossdresser.
No. She's got like the butch, like mullet haircut, like Hispanic with the hat, cowboy hat, with the little bush back here. Dressing like
the dad.
The transgender dad.
Yeah.
Yes. And so then
yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah. And so she was like, I'm from, a queer family, you know what I'm saying? And so transgender mom, transgender dad, and I forgot what the mom was. I think she said a gay mom, a queer mom, maybe. Don't quote me on that, because I really don't know. So it doesn't matter,
So
I guess.
she would be a lesbian in that case?
Yeah, no, I think from what Valentine explained, now they're not considered in a heterosexual relationship, because she's supposed to be a man and the mom is
Still a lady, though.
lady.
Right?
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. So she talked a lot about how her mom lost a lot of, family and so forth, because, she was not traditional, and she dated somebody who looked like a man but was a woman, and I guess that's considered a transgender dad. Anyway, she interviewed her parents, right, on her podcast, which I want to listen to, because they look like traditional old Hispanic parents. From what she said, they're traditional old Hispanic parents. They're from the Valley, and so it's not very common to see out there, No. And so I didn't listen to the episode. I haven't yet, but I think I saved it so that I could go back to her account so that I can look up her podcast to listen to it. But she advocates for, families with children like that. She was thanking her transgender dad for allowing her to see that she was gay since a young kid. So she said that they would get bullied a lot by like family members, saying that they're with them being gay and stuff was going to rub off on them, right? How could you raise two kids, her and her brother, without them turning gay? But she's like, well, I knew I was gay. She's like, but my brother didn't turn out gay. You know what I'm saying? He's straight. So she's like, that had nothing to do with, you know what I'm saying, like why I turned out gay, So I was like, literally, it's always like I'm having to write down. If you look at that book I'm reading, the oh my God, why can't I think of the book, the name of the book? Because I'm still reading it.
Because you ain't read it in a while?
No, I literally just read it, which is the reason why I went down the damn YouTube rabbit hole of transgender
dysmorphia.
Yeah, what is it called, Rob? The book I'm reading.
The generation one.
That's another one. Transgender. There's the one I'm reading is The End of Gender. That's another one, but this one is called, oh my God.
Insert clip saying name here.
Yeah, exactly. Damn it, I can't remember. Anyway, so I'm barely on chapter 3. I know, guys. But since we finished Ozark, we're now doing reading time, okay?
How good was that?
Yes. So good. And I'm on the part where it's influencer. Well, the book gives you influencer YouTubers that you can go check out. And it was crazy because this YouTuber was pissed about the book, saying that they wrote basically, what it looked like to me was that he was about to get canceled because he participated in this book and didn't want to get, canceled. So he went on ahead and was like, let me not. Let me tell them that this was, you know what I'm saying, a mistake on their part. This is now how I said it. This is how they said it, right? So,
You trying to find the name still?
I am. Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about it too, because I know you referenced it several times. I just can't remember the name of it. I hope you remember the point of bringing back this gay lady and her transgender parents.
I know why, because I sent it to Marissa and Don about this, because again, I went down that rabbit hole of watching these videos because they're talking about it, Rob. So,
this is on Disney Plus?
No. This is now on YouTube.
Okay.
Now this is on YouTube. His name is Chaz Ross. I'm sorry, Chaz Ross. So he was one of the people that was interviewed in the book, right? And so he was irreversible
damage, right?
Damage, yes, irreversible damage. Apology for transphobic book involvement. So it wasn't anything wrong. He basically just talked about why he decided he wanted to be a part of the book and explain to them, right? But because I think everybody has their 2 cents, just like how they're doing Rogan, right? And it's like, cancel him. You know what I'm saying? And he's one of the bigger YouTubers, transgender YouTubers, okay? So I'm going down this thing, and believe it or not, I didn't know this, okay? So, and if you're listening to this and your views are totally different, I'm glad you're listening, and I want for you to help me understand this, okay? Because transgender people can be gay.
Transgender people can be gay. Okay.
So check this out. So these are 2 transgender guys, or, boys, whatever, who used to be females, right? One of them got his stuff completely cut off, right? He cut off his boobs. The other one works out so much and like worked on their fitness. You know how women, we kind of just, it's fat for us. Breasts are fat. So they usually go away. That's why you see a lot of flat bodybuilders, right? So he's got like this little, almost like when men gain weight, you know how they have a little bit of boobs? That's kind of what he has, right? But he's like, he'll walk around with no shirt on at the gym because he's got the beard. I mean, they both look like guys. If you saw them, you would never think they were girls at any point. But one of them's real. That's why I was so confused, because I was like, wait, is he gay? And used to be a girl? I'm so confused. So one of them, the one that cut off the boobs, right? That's Chaz Ross or Chase Ross, whatever, right? Chase Ross is gay because he's a transgender male who likes guys.
He's a transgender male that likes guys. So correct me if I'm wrong here. This is originally a woman who turned into a man who likes men.
Okay. Are you following?
Are you following what I'm about to say? This is how people get in trouble. I'm lucky I'm not an actual public figure. I just kind of work with some people, you being one of them, where if I put my foot in my mouth, it's not as big of a deal as if Jingle Bling does it, or even you for that matter. Yeah. But I'm going to go ahead and say this. That's straight up, little bit, kind of, sort of, without being taken out of context, mental illness. We just all loosey-goosey say like, hey, acceptance and this, that, and the other, and people have differences of genetic makeup. You're absolutely right. But at some point, some of this is a little bit of mental illness.
Okay.
That's Rob. That's not Marisol.
Let me swallow my...
Go ahead and take your sip there. Yeah, take your time. While you take that sip, and don't forget your point, please, I want you to know that for a lot of people listening right now, you are their introduction to podcasts. I wanted to say that. That's what I wanted to say at the beginning of the show.
Oh, how do you know?
Because if you think about it, the demographics of, let's just say Latinos in general, getting into podcasts has only happened over the last recent years. Let's say the last 3-4 years or so. I was thinking about this because 12 years ago when Rogan started the JRE. It was Christmas of 2009. That winter, I remember sitting around a fire out in the boonies thinking like, this medium, this content is going to change the world. And my fucking podunk friends, who I'm still friends with a lot of them right now, were like, yeah, okay, but talk radio on the internet, who cares about that?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't get it, man. Like,
Yeah.
you don't understand like what's being said and the ability to say these things. Fast forward 12 years later, the number one podcast in the world is Enemy Number One. But I digress. We'll go back to that maybe later. But I wanted you to know that that's the type of influence that you're having right now. And a lot of the ladies and anybody else listens to the show that's not a patron yet, like you might be the first podcast. And in a lot of cases, I'm sure you are the first podcast that people are making a part of their weekly schedule.
Well, thank you for making me a part of your week. Like when I say thank you guys, I sincerely thank you from the bottom of my heart. You have no idea, which is why I love the Discord. Because it's like my little dream come into reality of watching a bunch of women who don't know each other. They don't know each other, bro. They've never met. And they're all sitting there loving on each other. You know what I'm saying? Just supporting each other, telling each other like, you got this, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I do this. How do you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
mom hacks, cooked this,
man,
did that.
it is so cool.
And imagine, and everybody has their own resources too. So imagine the ability of things that you could actually do in the real world later as a group grows. And I'm here in this city, and I know these people. We can do this meetup or this, workshop or this whatever. There's so many possibilities, but it takes a tribe, and the tribe's growing.
I love it. And I told Pete, I was like, I don't know what I said I said my Discord is lit, because he's always telling me how the Discord's lit, and he's always laughing, and it's like. He's always on that thing. Oh my God.
This morning, by the way, I was up at 5:30, right? That's my new ritual.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I posted this today's Chingo chat, and immediately, like, people were sending the screenshots of the thumbnail from the private video of Chingo with he had the black jacket on that's kind of like puffy-ish, and then he had a beanie on, and he was back here when we zoomed because it was so cold on Monday, and they were just kind of like, obviously for fun, roasting him like, it looks like Chingo couldn't pay the gas bill, like it looks like Chingo XYZ, and it's just so funny, a bunch of funny jokes.
He finds it funny too, because he'll be saying like, man, they're roasting me, or they'll roast you, or they're roasting someone else. And I just like how we're all helpful to each other, and just talking about anything on there, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty cool, because I don't know any of these women except for a few of them, but it's really, honestly, super duper cool. What I'm looking forward to is as women start to join the Patreon, right? And I go on tour, right? And then I'll get to meet some of these ladies. I can't wait. And like, I want to make a whole collage of like taking pictures with the women of like that I meet from my Patreon. You know what I'm saying? Because it's really cool. And I just want to like see it evolve. Like, okay, at this city, I only knew one girl who was part of my Patreon. At this city, you know what I'm saying? And every year as I keep going, we go back, I want to see like how it has grown. You know what I'm saying? Like how many more women have joined this community of just really cool women who just are just trying to make it.
I want to get back to what we were talking about, but since we're on this subject, are you a big scrapbooker?
I am. I have so many scrapbooks.
One of my good friend's wives put me on to this lady who created an app. Basically, over the last decade, she loves scrapbooking so much that she developed her own...
A digital scrapbook?
It's a digital like scrapbooking thing that she is addicted to. I'm telling you, she's so addicted to it that she took this lady does workshops, like 3-day online workshops that tells you how the best way to scrapbook.
Oh, let me check her out.
Yeah, I'll send you her Instagram.
I used to go, I'm going to sound real corny right now. I used to do scrapbooking happy hours. You would go, there was this store in Katy.
This lady's the same way, and she lives in Katy. How funny.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there was just, I wonder if it's the owner of this store.
I don't know, but go on.
They would you'd come like sip and scrap.
Like a group of
It was women. I didn't know them. They lock the door. It's after hours. You leave your credit card on tap, like you're gonna go, and you get to have the whole store to yourself. And as you're picking up stuff, all you're doing is all the packaging that you use, like, because sometimes you don't need the whole something, right? So here they would let you like buy according to whatever you're working on. So you'd bring your own scrapbook of whatever you were working on for then. And it's funny because at that time it was really cool to make pages that looked torn up. Mm-hmm. So you'd get 2 different colors and tear it up, and you'd make 2 different. This is how long ago it was. Excuse me. And it was crazy because I used to like love going. Like when they would come into town, because they do like conventions, like
Yeah.
scrapbooking.
That's what she was telling me. I was like, what?
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm huge on that. Like I love it. Like I haven't started pennies and I didn't, but I keep all their pictures in an album.
Yeah.
And it's like
This is exactly what she's
chronological.
doing.
Yeah.
She's like, she hasn't been able to put them into her thing because it takes so much time.
It does.
And she helps her husband run their business or whatever. So she came across this lady's app and she's like, this has changed my life.
Oh, I have to see that.
Putting all
You
my
have to
kids'
tell me,
pictures and everything
please.
together. Yeah.
Because
so
I'm big
you could
on
use that
that.
for the Discord. Like you use that for this kind of idea.
Yeah. Even Mickey, it's funny because I'll show her stuff. I'm like, look, she goes, you still have that? I'm like, I have, but I've always been, my friends used to call me paparazzi because I love taking pictures. I've always been that. I have cameras from like different eras because I've had cameras since I was little. I love them. I'm not a photographer. I don't know how to take pictures. I just love pictures. To me are the only way you kind of really have a memory of something. Legit. It's the only thing. Because there's only so much you can remember from that. But if you look at a picture, you're like, oh my God, I remember that day. Blah, blah, blah happened. Da, 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 da. That's me. I am a photo taking whore.
Have you seen the app that brings photos to life? So you take a picture of it with your camera on this app. It might even be a filter at this point on one of these apps where the face will look like it's alive. Like it'll look at you, it'll smile, it'll have gestures like the person. Like if you did one of somebody who passed away or whatever, you took a picture of your aunt, your dad, or whatever, you take a picture of it on your phone, it will move its head and it'll look at you, it'll smile and it'll gesture and it looks real.
Yeah, I don't know if I want that. Probably, I'd start bawling.
Same.
Yeah.
As I saw because I got an ad for it. As I saw the ad for it, I was like, I don't know this person, but I'm gonna cry just knowing that they're dead.
Yeah,
and
no, I can't do that.
I'd
start bawling. I wouldn't even be able to be like, "Moo." And we all know I try to avoid that emotion.
Only during massages.
You know, exactly. We went to church this weekend and it was funny because Pete and I think we were both kind of feeling it, but they were talking about testimonies on how they made it to church, right? Like how they started going to church. One guy was like, he pretty much lost his family because he just became a drunk and just kind of started doing drugs. And his wife was like, I can't do this anymore. And then, you know, him being out and about partying one day, ended up getting this little one night stand lady pregnant. And you know what I'm saying? He was like, I know what to do. Now I have another baby. Now I've got 3 kids. You know what I'm saying? That lady ends up getting like some type of cancer and dies. And now he's having to raise this kid who he's never really known. It's almost like a movie. He's never even known really because this was a woman who he just had like a little one night stand with.
Is a guy at your church?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's given his testimony about how he ended up at Second Baptist. And all these were so great. One of them was like how she found Second Baptist because her church was closed during the pandemic, but Second Baptist wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, and then, you know, just all the testimonies were great. I mean, I'm used to hearing testimonies at church. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you'd hear them as I was growing up. But these were like, damn, these were good. And then when Pete and I were driving to go meet my mom to eat, and he was like, man, those testimonies were good. And I was like, I know. He goes, I wasn't crying. You were crying. And I was like, I started laughing. I said, I know, right? I was like, they just made you tear up. I was like trying so hard to like, okay, I'm not going to cry about this just because their stories were so good. You know, like how they ended up there, how they found God. And I was just like, geez, man, like these are some good stories. And all of them ended up being because it was like something crazy tragic. This other little girl was the one that ended up bringing her parents. They weren't really church people, but this little girl, 16 years old, which I was kind of like, wow. I guess there's that. And that's when I realized that there's, I mean, I know this already, but 16 to me, like I can't say I took any boyfriend serious at 16. Did you? Like girlfriend?
I mean that because I had the high school sweetheart who we dated for like most of high school. So yeah, at the time,
yeah, okay,
you're pretty invested.
Yeah, all right. So I don't know. Like to me, it was kind of like she's like that. She had a really bad relationship, right? And I was like, you're 16.
It feels like the end of the world,
right? She said that, and it was like I was really going through it, and she said that someone had given her a Bible. And she had just thrown it in her junk drawer. I was like, well, that's awful. But she admitted that, right? She's like, I threw it in a junk drawer. She goes, and I legit was like in my room crying. I open up and she's like, let me look through this Bible thing. And she said she opened up the Bible and it was right on a scripture that was like totally resonated with what she was going through. And because they weren't really involved in church, her parents, right? She said she would hide the Bible because she didn't want like her parents to know that she was reading the Bible.
Because they judge her or what?
Yeah, she didn't know how they were going to react to her reading the Bible, like what's up with you type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And so now it was time for her to go to college. And so she left and she became very involved in the church in Dallas when she moved away, because now she felt like she didn't have her parents kind of monitoring what she was doing. Mm-hmm. And she didn't know how to approach her parents about her wanting to go to church and be involved in church, because she didn't know how her parents who weren't religious were going to feel about it. And she said that she would pray about it and pray about it and pray about it. And she said she came home for Christmas one year, and that she's like, sitting there, and then she's like, well, we're going to go to church today. And she's like, what? Like, what's going on? And she's like, we've discovered Second Baptist and blah, blah, blah. And so she was like, what? And she's like, she goes, they had no idea that I'd been praying for them so that they could find a church. She's like, and I had no idea they had found a church. We didn't talk about those things. We didn't talk about like religion, and because it was like so weird in our house to talk about that. I just thought it was crazy that it was the daughter, like a 16-year-old who opened those doors, right? Testimonies were really good. Another lady was abused. She was from Nigeria. She was saying how, and she's got a doctorate degree and everything, a smart woman. And she was just talking about how in Nigeria, you don't divorce. Kind of like, and she's like, and so it doesn't matter, like if your husband is beating you up, he's out there sleeping with other women, you just put a smile on your face, and should anybody approach you about it, you just have to say like, well, I'm just not, don't read too much into it. She said she found herself doing that a lot. She said one day, she's like, all I had left was prayer. That was it. All I had left was prayer. She's like, I just kept getting abused. Like I beaten up, you know what I'm saying? Like every which way. She's like, I didn't know what else. She just said, God, please. She said that she had an opportunity to leave Nigeria with her kids. And she didn't know if she had made a mistake or not, but she did. And, she's like, that's what she kind of felt the sign was from God as she kept praying, like, please, God, like, just tell me what I need to do. Like, I can't. She's like, because she would be looked, I guess, like a
traitor,
kind of like a piece of shit woman, because you don't divorce your husband. He's providing for you. You know what I'm saying? You live well. How dare you disrespect this man? You know what I'm saying?
It's all relative. Like, what's living well?
Yeah. So, you have wealth, I guess. And so how dare you complain just because your husband decided to go with a woman the other day? It means nothing. He's still married to you. Those are the kind of like things she had to put up with.
All those formalities that we have as humans in different cultures blow my mind. Maybe it's because I've, for the most part, always been a sort of a contrarian to a lot of things, because nothing is like certain, right? Nothing is as matter of fact as we'd like to make it seem. Not marriage, not relationships, not life, death. Not everything is just so, there's nuance to everything, and how you live your life and go about it is just up to that person. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine being in that lady's shoes and being like, well, I guess this is my life?
No, and that's what she said.
Yeah, fuck
that's
that.
Exactly what she said. She goes, well, I guess this is my life.
Yeah,
that's
right.
exactly how she said she felt when she was in this relationship.
I'm sure.
And she was like, she's like, all I had left was prayer. And I just she just had this vision, and she bounced and left, and she like just happened she was looking for help from a church, and this was the church that helped her. And she's on her she's just on her third book writing, and she writes self-help books.
This is also at your church?
At my church.
Wow.
Yes.
Jesus.
It was really like, I'm telling you, like, I was like, all right, man. I was like, I just felt better when I left Sunday.
You felt better because your life is better. You're like, God damn, they really been through it, man.
No, I just kind of felt like, like, I'm so glad that there's still people out there who do believe in God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, did you see my shirt yet? Oh, you don't get on the Discord, right?
No, what is it?
The Get Right with God. I finally got it.
I've been saying that for 12 months.
The only thing is that I don't know what design to put in the front, like on the front left like shoulder or like a chest area.
Do you have a mock-up for it already?
I do, and it's in the back, and it says
nice.
Get Right with God. And Will was saying, like, should we do prayer hands in the front, right? And I'm like, I don't know.
Like the emoji prayer hands?
Yeah, I don't know how. That'd be funny.
That'd be funny.
That would be funny. That might not be a bad one. I just don't know, like, how I don't want to make anybody who sees this shirt, I don't want them to think I'm making fun, because I'm not. I'm dead serious when I say you need to get right with
You're
God.
gonna put the rosary around the hand?
That's what I don't want.
I know.
That's what I
I'm
don't want. And that's
exaggerating.
why I'm like, okay, I got to find.
The emoji hand, everybody uses emoji hands for so
Yeah.
many different reasons.
And so I was like, okay, yeah, I use that for please, you know,
Thank you.
So,
Actual prayer.
yeah, exactly. Like, I'm praying for you,
Yeah.
prayer hands. Yeah.
Good luck. Anyway, go on.
And you know, I feel that with everything going on, and I'm not trying, like, this can sound like such a religious episode, right? Because we're just talking about this, but I was looking at Kelly Jean's story the other day.
We should have her back on.
We do.
She
need to
was
have
your
her-
first guest.
My first guest last year, right?
Mhm. January 2021.
Yeah,
2021.
2020. What year are we in?
2022.
Oh yeah, I knew that.
I did that the other day too. I was like, we're really in 2022?
Oh my god! All right, 2022. She posted a story, and it was a screenshot of her computer, right? And she's like, she does Bible study early in the morning on a Zoom, and she's now up to 100 women on her Zoom of Bible study. What I'm getting at is, I feel this, get right with God.
Okay.
I feel that because it is getting so bad in this world, people are like, I need to find God. I need to get right with God, because I really don't know where they're trying to get rid of family. They're trying to get rid of religion. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to just get rid of, like, anything that has to do with, like, unity, community.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like people are going more towards finding church, whatever your religion is. Like, I feel like people are trying to find some sort of community
Absolutely.
again, because it's getting to the point where it's so bad. And I told her, I said, I need to get up one morning and join you guys, you know what I'm saying, on the Bible
What
study.
time?
I think she does 9 a.m.
Oh,
And
it's
it's
not bad.
not
You
it's
can
not
make
bad
that.
at all,
Yeah.
but I'd have to coordinate with some, because on Tuesday and Thursdays when y'all podcast, Lisa doesn't come in until later, so I can hang out with the girls in
makes
the
sense.
day, and then and then when she comes in, that's when I do my work. And I've been doing that since the year started, because I just kind of felt like
Gives you more time with them, right?
I wasn't spending time with them. It was like I was just their night mom.
You're
they're
the night nurse?
Yeah, I'm the night nurse, exactly. And so I was just like, I can't have
Here's
this
a boob,
again.
here's a bed.
Exactly.
See you tomorrow.
All right. Did I read how many books? We read three books. Okay. Let's leave it. I was gonna say 3 books. Good. Okay. You got bathed. Cool. You know what I'm saying? It's like I can't do that. So Tuesdays and Thursdays when y'all are podcasting, that's why you'll see me, and I'm still living like I've been really trying to just be with them. You know what I'm saying? Be present with them, not be on social media. That's why my social media has been very dry. You know what I'm saying? It's like I've been very focused on trying to grow the podcast, grow my apparel, and I haven't been putting out any merch because I've just been wanting to put out more things that are meaningful to me. You know what I'm saying? Someone asked like, hey, are you bringing back any jewelry? Yeah, I love jewelry. I really would. But going back and forth with the vendors, that's really a lot of work. I don't like that one. Can you send me another one? Is there anything like this? I've seen this is in style right now. Do you have anything available that looks like this? You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a back and forth thing. But anyway, I just feel like people are really trying to find something because it's just too much.
I totally agree with you.
It's too much in the world right now.
I was
Like,
telling
I don't
Dawn-
think no one can handle it anymore.
No, I agree. They need community, right? They need their tribe. And I was telling Dawn, because I'm not very much to be a super like organized religion kind of individual, but I told Dawn, I was like, as you just kind of analyze both sides of this, what's going on, I'm like, I would any day of the week. And, we say this as jokingly, like whether you're super holy moly or whatever, but the people on the right for the most part, and like whoever considers themselves true conservatives, which I don't, and I don't think you do either, but they're about God, guns, and leave me the fuck alone.
Oh my God, totally.
And I'm cool with that. That's the side I'd rather be on. Not only
Yeah.
that, but they also have your back.
Yeah.
They're not trying to cancel you and take those things away from you, like God and guns. It's like, it's a no-brainer for me. If it's not a no-brainer for you, that's you, but that's not me.
No, I totally agree. I don't know. It's just, one of the ladies who I told you, so she's actually Chinese, that was on this testimony video that we saw at church, was going to temple. She said the one thing when she moved here from China to New York, she said she could not believe the amount of freedom we had. We're talking about years ago, okay?
Yeah.
And she said this culture is amazing because they're taught that Westerners are just piece of shits. They're no good. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So she's like, what? They're not mean like how they've told us all these years in China. You know what I'm saying? Like this isn't true. And she said she loved it. But then when all this started to happen, right? Everything.
The eroding of America.
Yeah. She said that she had gone to temple and she just noticed a whole different vibe. And it was a vibe that made her feel like she was back in China. And she said, this I cannot be a part of. And she was like, what do I do? This is my only church. This is all I know. Where do I go? So she said she lives in Hunters Creek Village, which is right there by church. And she said she called her mayor of Hunter. And then she said, are you like, hey, what's up? Like, we need to open churches, basically is what she was kind of calling to complain about. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, well, no, or I forgot what her complaint was. I'm lying. What she called for it. Because he asked her, are you a woman of faith? And she said, what? She's like, are you a woman of faith? She's like, yes. So it's like, well, you live right down the street from Second Baptist, which is open. I can't do nothing about your temple being closed. But I can say, if you're a woman of faith, there is literally a church down the street from you that is open. They have not closed. And so she was like, well, I guess, let me go there. You know what I'm saying? Let me go see what this is about. And that's how she ended up at Second Baptist. But it's crazy because she felt like that where she was going to church, they were trying to bring these ways of what she left China into the church. And so she's like, I'm not having this.
Wow.
And she's like, I pray for America, she said, because you don't want a life of what I came from.
Since we only have a few minutes here on the public episode, I will mention Lily Tang, I believe is her name. She's running for Congress, and I forgot what state, but I think I sent it in the group to you and Marisol on Instagram. She was on Tim Pool's podcast, and she basically, grew up in the Chinese Communist Party, and I don't know that I've heard too many Americans talk about America as much as this lady loves America. And it's fascinating because she's lived under the communist regime for a long time, and it's a must.
Oh, I think I heard. Is it older episode, right?
No, it was a couple days ago. It was like a week ago.
Has she been on there before?
I don't think so. I think it's not Yamni Park. That's the Korean defector.
No, not her. There was another one that was on where it was a bunch of them talking.
I'll send you this one.
Okay.
And because it's so good. And then also, if you're from Houston, I'm gonna, for the last 3-4 minutes here, little pink pill tamales here. If you're in Houston, March 1st is the primaries here in Houston. So we got Dora the Explorer and a bunch of these other people that are, going to be up for re-election.
I got invited to her crash party.
That's hilarious.
I got a DM from someone and said, would you like to attend the crash party? And I said, what?
Was that DM from Marissa?
No, actually it wasn't.
She helming
and
this?
I was like, oh my God. And she said, you need to watch because she was like,
that link was broken. You sent it actually.
I know. I couldn't get back on it. That was
it was
weird. And so she said, you need to watch this now. She's like, because we don't know who to vote for. Like, who do we vote for after Lena? Right. And so she was watching it to make her decision. And when she said that, I'm watching this to make my decision, these debates, right? I thought to myself, what a freaking responsible ass citizen. You know what I'm saying? What a response. Because what I'm going to go do is just go read on the candidates right quick before I make my decision. I'm just going to be honest, right?
Well, a lot of people are going to be doing that this time around. As long as it doesn't have a D next to their name, that's how they're going. And that's just what it is. And a lot of people say don't vote down ballot to the opposite or one or the other because of that, R or D. But the way things have been going, I'm talking about lefties are like, I'm just voting R down the ballot. Fuck that. I'm done with this lefty shit.
I just wish we would stop just labeling, like,
we're too deep.
Just stop labeling and just really be for the people. Let's just be for the fucking people.
That's Joe Rogan. Look at him. They're trying to cancel him from this planet.
Just for being for the
for
people.
Being for the people.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what you get.
Yeah, it's crazy that you want to be for the people and you want to talk truth to the people.
Yeah.
And you just want to tell them, and because you're a curious individual, you have people on your podcast that you talk to and interview.
Dude.
Because you're curious, because you're sitting here kind of questioning a shitload of stuff that are happening.
This is a machine that's Chingo references as like the baddest bitch ever, which is true. America, United States. There's some things in this machine that are trying to pull one over on the American people.
It's insane. I can't anymore. That's what I'm telling you. I can't. When Pete will be like, "You're not even listening." When you tell him, I'm just like, every day
I'm overloaded.
You wake up and it's just like, oh, now they're trying to blah blah, and I'm just like,
dude. You know what's funny is that Dawn. I've never done that to Dawn, but she's starting to do that to me. She's starting to bring these things up every day, which is fine with me because I don't bring it up to her. But I know the way Chingo is that he brings it up to you though.
I'm like, my coffee's not done. Not even, you haven't even served my coffee yet. Let me have one sip first before you just drop this new load of information. And it's just like, I can't anymore.
All right, let's go out on this then. The Rock, he U-turned, as they said on your. He U-turned his. I want to have a glass of tequila on your podcast, hopefully one day. With, I've seen this complete narrative now. This is a learning experience for me. Oof, it's like Xi Jinping sent him the message, sent him the rock signal, and say, "Hey, you better say this."
But did you see now the video they brought out of him?
I posted it a week ago. Now it's making the rounds where he's him and Mick Foley in the ring, and he's like, "Oh, ching ching ching, whatever."
Yeah.
Stone Cold, yeah.
Yeah. But Joe Rogan is so good. It's that black belt, bro.
I know.
It's that black belt. I want to get there. I want to get there to where I can just be just.
No, you're a crunk white belt right now, so you are.
You know what I'm saying? Because I wonder what he feels like whenever he saw that. He's like, I'm not on his narrative. Like, I don't know what narrative Joe Rogan. I'm like, I don't
see
agree
his
with
real
it.
narrative.
Yeah.
Is what he said.
I'm like thinking, you motherfucker, you little backstabber Two-Face. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't believe that. But Rogan's just going to be like, well, he has to say that because, that's what he's going to do. He's just going to.
Well, he's not going to win any people over by going against him.
Yeah.
So if he just kind of like, give him benefit of the doubt.
So exactly. Yeah. I'm just like.
He's got Under Armour to tend with. He's got Disney to tend with, whatever.
He's going to be he's going to approach it so differently to where he doesn't take it offensive. And somebody like me would have been like, fuck that guy. Don't ever call me to be on my podcast because I don't want you on here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would have been me.
That would have been you in the early days.
But that's why you got to get right with God, because you tame your little attitude and you ain't as hype as sometimes as I can get, right? But I'm better. I think I'm so much better. I think I'm better at.
From when we first started doing this again, 100%. Marisol, you would see steam coming out of Marisol's ears.
Yeah.
She'd be so mad.
I'm so much better now. And I think now I'm just like, wow. It's like, Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah.
On that note.
For sure.
Thank you guys so much for listening. I'll see y'all Friday.